Hi everyone, and welcome to our informational webinar, How to Apply to Teach in the USA with EPI. My name is Jessica and I work as a content specialist for EPI. I am from the mountains of North Carolina, and before working for EPI, I taught English at the community college level. And I'm really excited to have a job that combines my passion for cultural exchange with my passion for education. Today I'll be talking to you about EPI's application process and answering any questions that you might have about it. You can use the comment box to leave any questions that you have. At the end of our presentation, we will be answering any questions that you leave for us. Please don't feel like you have to save your questions to the end. You can leave your comments at any time. Today, we will be talking about how to apply to teach in the U.S. with Educational Partners International. During this webinar, we will be going over how to start your application and what documents you will need to get for it. We will also explain the purpose of the application and give you some tips that will make the application process go as quickly as possible. If you are joining us for the first time, we are Educational Partners International, or EPI for short, and we are a cultural exchange program that brings international teachers to teach in K-12 schools in the United States. Our mission is to bring some of the best teachers from around the world to come to the U.S. to share their cultural experiences. As you can read here, our goal is to strengthen K-12 education by discovering and empowering the world's best international teachers to facilitate authentic cultural exchange. The results include teachers and students that become lifelong learners, embrace 21st century skills, and serve as change agents in an interconnected world of global understanding. While we work with schools across the southern United States, our home office is in North Carolina, which is about where that arrow is on the map there. We would love to know where you're from too, so go ahead and tell us in the comments. Now that you have some of a background on who we are, it is important to understand EPI's process. Our process for bringing teachers like you to the United States looks like this. First, you complete an application so that we know you are eligible for our program and will be a strong candidate for cultural exchange. The application process includes filling out a thorough online form, uploading official documents, and 2 interviews with the EPI team members. After you've completed the application process, you are moved to the approved stage where you interview principals at one of our partnered schools. Once you have completed a successful school interview, you are placed in the school and become an official EPI program member. So let's take a closer look at the first step, the application process. EPI's application process is thorough, but it does a few important things for you. First, filling out the application creates a professional profile for school principals to look at when they are considering teachers for interviews. We also use the information you provide on the application to decide whether or not you meet our eligibility requirements. Some of the requirements for being an EPI teacher are that you are currently teaching, you have 2 years of full-time teaching experience, and that you have the equivalent of a U.S. bachelor's degree. Finally, the application helps you collect the documents that you will need to get a visa, travel to the United States, and to get a teaching license. So you have read about EPI and our requirements, and you have decided that you want to apply to teach in the USA. How do you get started? Well, the first step is to go to our website, teachwithepi.com/teachers. Once you are there, you will scroll down until you see the orange button that says click here to apply. Then you will need to answer some questions about your eligibility. After you answer the questions, you click the submit button and you'll be able to make an account with your email address and start your application. Once you start your application, it is important that you prioritize completing your personal and professional profile as soon as possible so that you can quickly move to the next stage of the application. EPI's application requires documentation to be sure that you are able to travel and teach in the United States. So what documents will you need to get to complete your application? Well, here is a list of the documents you will need to upload to your application before you are eligible for principal interviews. We ask for copies of all pages of your passport, diploma, transcripts, criminal background checks from every country that you have lived in the past 5 years, proof of employment, and a credential evaluation from an NACES approved company. If you have a valid driver's license and wish to drive in the United States, we will also need a copy of your driver's license, but driving is not a requirement for the program. In addition to these documents, you will need to upload certified translations of diplomas and transcripts. You will also need certified translations of your criminal record check if it is in a language other than English or Spanish. When you are first starting your application, you should prioritize the passport pages, diplomas, and transcripts because we will need these documents before we can invite you for interviews with EPI team members. When uploading your documents, it is important to make sure the uploads are of good quality so that we can read them. If your uploads are not good quality copies, we will have to ask you to re-upload them, which will make the application process take longer. Your uploaded documents should be scans, not pictures. If you don't have a scanner, we recommend using the phone app Tiny Scanner for easily getting quality scans of your documents. You will also need to make sure that your scans are full color copies and are easy to read. Easy to read means that the image is not blurry, there is no glare or shadow on the scan, and that the whole document is visible. Also, be sure to check that you are uploading your documents to the correct section of your application. We may not be able to find your documents if you upload them in the incorrect section. One of the most common questions our candidates ask about the application process is how long does it take? Well, as we've already stated, in the application process, you'll need to upload all of your documents and complete 2 interviews with EPI team members. So how long the process takes depends on how quickly you can collect and upload all the appropriate documents. Here are some tips on what you can do to make sure the application process goes as quickly as possible. First, you should read all the requirements before you apply. You can find our requirements at teachwithepi.com/teacher requirements. When completing the application, you will need to be sure to read and follow all directions on the application carefully. You will also want to proofread all answers on your application, as any typos or mistakes made with spelling and dates can make the process take longer. When you apply to EPI, be sure to upload all of your documents directly to your application. We do not open attachments sent through email, so the only way to get your documents processed is to upload them to the website directly. Also, when you upload your documents to the website, be sure to click the Save button at the bottom of the page or else it will not save your documents. Finally, you will need to create an account with a valid email address and check your email regularly. We will only be able to discuss your application through email, so it is important that you are looking for emails from EPI about your application status. So now it's time for questions. I'll be answering any questions that you have left in the comments, so if you haven't submitted your questions yet, ask them now. We also invite you to tell us about yourself. We would love to know what you are teaching and where you are from. It looks like we've already heard from teachers from the Dominican Republic, Zimbabwe, the Philippines, Cameroon, and Argentina today. So our first question is there an age limit? No, EPI does not have an age limit regardless of how old you are. You can go ahead and start your application at teachwithepi.com. Our next question is, what subjects and grade levels are you looking for? We are looking for all subjects, regardless of what subject you're teaching. Go ahead and start your application. And we work with grade levels kindergarten through 12th grade, which are approximately students ages 5 to 18. Our next question is, what is the salary? So your pay will depend on the district that you're teaching in and your experience, just like any other teacher in the United States. So I will give you a link that gives you more information about the average pay for an EPI teacher. How long does the application process take after submitting? So after you submit your documents, our team is pretty good about looking and making sure you have the correct documents. Then they'll send you invitation to your interviews. And so it's really going to depend on your schedule and how quickly you can sign up for those interviews. Our application process includes a lot of self-starting, and if you're a self-starter, you can get through it within a couple of weeks. For our next question, someone asks, what should I do if my application is on hold? So if your application is on hold, the only thing that you can do is to email team@teachwithepi.com. As I mentioned before, they are the only ones that can discuss your application status with you, and they should be able to tell you why your application is on hold and what you can do in the meantime to take it off of hold. Our next question is a driver's license required? No, we do not require a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, you will be limited to being placed in cities with strong public transportation, but you do not have to have a driver's license to be a part of the program. All right, so our last question is, when does the position begin? We are currently placing for positions that start in the 2018-2019 school year, which will start in August. So you can expect the school year to start in August 2018 if you get placed this year. So that's our last question for today. If you did not get to ask your question, leave it in the comments below. We will answer all leftover questions in the comments after the broadcast. So now that you know more about how to apply, let's talk about the next steps. First, if you have not applied yet, go to teachwithepi.com and start the application process. If you have started the application but have questions about how to continue, email us at team@teachwithepi.com with your questions. Finally, go to teachwithepi.com/webinars to sign up for our future webinars and to watch any previous webinars that we've done. To finish off our presentation today, I would like to leave you with this quote as a reminder of why cultural exchange is so important and why we are so eager to bring teachers like you to the United States. J. William Fulbright was a U.S. Senator and the founder of the Fulbright program. He said, "The essence of intercultural communication or education is the acquisition of empathy, the ability to see the world as others see it, and to allow for the possibility that others may see something that we have failed to see or may see it more accurately." We are dedicated to helping teachers like you come to the U.S. so that we may learn from each other's unique perspectives, just like Fulbright talks about here. Okay, that's all for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any further questions, email us at team@teachwithepi.com. We will also be sure to sign up for our webinar mailing list at teachwithepi.com/webinars. On behalf of everybody at EPI, thank you for joining us and have a great day.